everybody, ready to roll on this opening week of the brand new Stronach 5 wager. So good to have you with us. We'll cover a lot of ground here on the show over the next 20 minutes or so. Jason Blewitt joining you again from our third floor clubhouse studios here at Gulfstream Park. So we're getting set for the opening week on Friday, September 28th of the Stronach 5. How do you play? Well, we're showcasing the best of the Stronach group, and we want you to jump into the pool. It starts with race number 9, Friday afternoon at Laurel Park. So you ask for Laurel, race 9, and $1 minimum on the Stronach 5. And where else can you get all of this action in just 45 minutes, give or take? The start time, again, 5:26 p.m. Eastern with the 9th at Laurel. Then we go to Santa Anita for the 4th, opening weekend at the Great Race Place. Gulfstream for race number 8, Golden Gate Fields, and then we wrap it up with race number 9, Friday's finale at Gulfstream Park. We begin at around 5:30 and we end at 6:08 p.m. Good stuff there. Even better than good, how do you like a 12% takeout? I think players are a lot more educated in this day and age, and takeout very important. And we want you to jump into this opening week of the Stronach 5 with an industry-low takeout of just 12%. We'll also sweeten up the deal with a $50,000 guaranteed minimum pool on this Friday, September 28th. So there are many reasons to play the Stronach 5, the low takeout, and a $50,000 guaranteed minimum. Again, we've got a lot of ground to cover, many furlongs to cover on this show, and let's bring in our panel of experts here at the Stronach Group to go over each of the 5 legs. We are all over the country. Top left, Tim Tullock at Maryland. Top right, Matt Dinerman at Golden Gate Fields. Bottom left, Michelle Yu out at Santa Anita, and Acacia Courtney with me here at Gulfstream Park. So good to have everybody on the show. We'll get to each and every person on that panel to find out who they like and why they like the horses that they do. So sit tight for that. And our first stop, in fact, will be Maryland. We're going to Maryland City, the pride of Maryland. It is Laurel Park. And we are more than pleased here on the Stronach 5 preview show to bring in Laurel Park's own Tim Tullock. Tim, how are you? And what are we doing in this opening leg of Friday, Stronach 5?
No, I'm great, and I'm really stoked to get the Stronach 5 started, and stoked to get it started right here at Laurel Park. So yeah, too deep here in the leg A, race 9 here at Laurel Park, and I use the 5 Shelley Island and the 7 Bay of Rocks, but Shelley Island in her last start here at Laurel Park, I thought she was really game. She turned her home in front. She was down on the rail. She kept going and she didn't give up. She ran all the way through the wire, and even though she got beat, it was a game effort, and that's why I went with her on top over the 7 Bay of Rocks. Now, they both ran in the same race on the same day in different divisions, and Shelley Island actually came out of the faster half of that race. She gets Raylu Gutierrez, a bug boy here, a new bug boy here, who's looked very sharp in his recent races here at Laurel Park. And in fact, our colleague, Richard Migulori, really likes him and likes his style of riding. So he gets a little weight also. My second pick in here is Bay of Rocks. Now, Bay of Rocks and Shelley Island come out of the same race at Timonium, where they both got a bad break. But you can just give up those races, cross the line through those races at Timonium. Those are half-mile races. Those are scramble-ons. And if you don't get away, you don't get anything, and neither one did. But they're both dropping from the 25 to the 16 today, going 5/8 of a mile. So I like them both. But if you have a little extra money, you might want to go a little deeper here. There's 2 first-time starters who are working okay for their debut. Not made in special weight works, but this is made in 16, and I think they're perfectly spotted. So if you can go a little deeper here, I would recommend it. But my picks are the 5 Shelley Island and the 7 Bay of Rocks. Good luck in the first leg.
Well, thanks very much, Tim. You're too deep to start things out. And I can tell you from having watched Raylu Gutierrez ride here throughout the summer, spring into the summer at Gulfstream Park, he has got every right to be the nation's leading apprentice rider, and he is indeed aboard Tim's top selection, the number 5 Shelley Island in leg number 1 of Friday Stronach 5. That is race number 9 at Laurel Park. Speaking of Laurel, Santa Anita, Golden Gate Fields, and Gulfstream Park, we want you here on track where wherever you live, come on out. The first 100 people to buy a program on Friday afternoon, September 28th, will be awarded a $1 quick pick ticket for the Stronach 5. You really can't go wrong there, so definitely join us on track. Now, it is time to pack our bags. We're going to head a few thousand miles, at least a few hundred miles out to the West Coast. In fact, Southern California is where we are at. Acacia, California, to be precise. It is the opening weekend at Santa Anita Park, the great race place, and I am more than happy to bring in Santa Anita Park's own Michelle Yu to the program. Michelle, happy opening weekend out at Santa Anita Park, and a pretty nice turf race for 3-year-old fillies plays its part in this first ever Stronach 5.
Definitely, Jason, going to be a great opening weekend as we return to the grass after the little bit of lull in grass racing when we're at Los Alamitos. They don't have a turf course, so everyone, of course, wants to get those sod horses out. Here's a look at the 11 horses, plus one also eligible that'll be lining up here for race number 4. My top pick is going to be the 3 Streak of Luck. It's a little Captain Obvious with Mike Smith getting aboard here for Matt Chu. She is coming off a win last time out at Del Mar where she just got the nose down. And what I liked about this is I feel like she likes to be a little closer. She ended up a little bit farther back. Mike Smith did not panic. She got swamped in the middle of the turn, and this filly just waited for Mike to say, okay, go ahead and go now. My one qualm with this race is she kind of hung a little bit as she started to make her run. So I think in this instance, in this field, she's going to be able to lay a lot closer because I feel like there might be a lone pace situation with a sprinter stretching out in here towards the outside. So if that's the case, she's going to get a much better trip in here. Even though she's been running into those Calbred races, I think they were really tough, and she's proven not only can she win back-to-back races because she's done it before, but she's also ran very well with Open Company previously. And so getting out of the Calbreds into that, I feel like that's a very good situation for her. If you're going to use some other horses, the one movie moment, her 3 out of her last 4 races since breaking her maiden have been against Graded Stakes Company, and the one allowance race she raced in, she got beat by a horse named Street with no name, who parlayed that win into a win against Boys in a stakes race up north. I also end up using Miraculously from the barn of Richard Baltas here. She's just been finding her spot since coming out from the Midwest, from Brendan Walsh's barn into a new barn as well, and Flavian Pratt's going to climb aboard yet again. I feel like you can't deny that angle. If you can go one deeper, maybe use Don't Blame Judy, who's first time versus winners for Eric Kroljak. I didn't use because first time versus winners is not my favorite angle, but if you got some money to throw around because we are doing $2 beers out here at Santa Anita, maybe you want to put that money towards that horse.
All right, sounds good, Michelle. So possibly 3 deep, definitely 2 deep. And again, a happy opening weekend and best of luck to everybody out there in Southern California. Can't wait for the action at Santa Anita Park. And we are indeed in good company using Gary Stevens, Mike Smith, and maybe a little Flavian Pratt on the outside there in race number 4 out at Santa Anita Park. Up next, leg number 3, leg C if you will, is Gulfstream Park, a cast I am more than familiar with. And as we come home here to where I stand in Hallandale Beach, toasty Hallandale Beach, Florida, I am very happy to welcome Acacia Courtney to the Stronach 5 preview show. And Acacia, final dirt race on the Friday program goes as race number 8. This is an excellent allowance race on the dirt.
It really is, and you're absolutely right, Jason. We're pretty familiar with all of these horses, but it's a really quality field in here, and I think there's several ways to go. So I use 3 horses in this leg of the Stronach 5. It's a nice field of 11. You have some horses that have faced Stakes Company, even Graded Stakes Company in the past with the likes of Empire Power on the outside. And I think the biggest question about this race, as you start to dive in, is how is the pace going to play out? It's a 6-furlong sprint on the main track, as you said, the final dirt race on the program with this weekend at the last leg of the Florida Sire Stakes. And I think that there are quite a few horses in here who do have some natural speed to them. So that was one of the reasons that I did go to the outside in the number 11 Empire Power as my top pick in here. Now, not only does he have some of the back class being exposed against Graded Stakes Company and the likes of the Grade 3 Swale against Strike Power, but he also has that tactical running style. And as we look back to his last race, this was on August 30th. He was coming coming off of a 6-month layoff. He was the number 7 that day, closing wide. A long shot just wired the field that day. There was absolutely no catching the Jaime Mejia trained horse on the lead that day. So I thought all in all, Empire Power running a very good race under Edgard Zayas, a very tactical rider. You can imagine he's going to look at the form before coming in and know that there is going to be a bit of a pace layout in here. So I think that Empire Power with the outside post can kind of let the race play out to his inside. But looking at a couple of others, I think there's some horses that you have to respect in here. One of them being the number 5 Scam, who's turning back in distance slightly after trying 7 furlongs last time out. I think the 3/4 is really probably his most potent distance. He's a 5-time winner at this distance, not to mention Peter Walder's barn has just been going great this meet with Miguel Vasquez in the saddle. Just an ultra consistent horse that you have to respect. And then I also included the 3 Take Notice, who you definitely take notice of, coming out of a win at Saratoga last time out. Claimed away from D. Wayne Lucas for Marcus Vitale, but I do think this is going to be one of those speed horses. A couple other horses that I do respect in this race, but again, I was looking for some horses that might be sitting a good trip. I'm hoping Empire Power, second off the layoff. I was really intrigued by him at the start of his career, can get back into that form. I do like that he's second off the bench and he's not in for the tag today. So using 3 horses in here with the 11 Empire Power, the 5 Scam, and the 3 Take Notice. But again, this is a great betting race. Hopefully you're playing the Stronach 5. If you want to try some win or exacta bets, this is definitely a good race to do it too, Jason.
No, I've been looking forward, Acacia. Couldn't agree more to the 8th race here at Gulfstream on Friday afternoon since it was drawn back on Sunday afternoon. Field of 11 ready to tussle. A good one, no doubt, coming up on the dirt. Well, to the synthetic we go next as we head back to California, but we're not at Santa Anita. We're heading a little north of that to Albany, California. Good old Golden Gate Fields. We've got racing analyst and track announcer Matt Dinerman joining us here on the Stronach 5 preview show. And Matt, pretty bulky field for the gals there on the synthetic track for race number 4 Friday at Golden Gate.
That's right, Jason, and this is a really good field here. A field of 10 $40,000 claimers, fillies and mares going the distance of 6 furlongs here. This is probably the best race of the day on the Friday afternoon card. You see with these types of races a $40,000 claimer. They're the highest claimers we have here at Golden Gate Fields. You get a lot of allowance caliber runners in this race too, and I'm going to go with my top pick, number 5, Baco Sweets from the Billy Morey stable. This mare has done a lot of good here at Golden Gate Fields, and she's won 3 of 6 lifetime races over this Tapeta. She's run a pretty good race pretty much every time she sets foot on the Tapeta. We're going to take a look back at her August 25th race, an allowance event right here at Golden Gate, and she stalked the pace, drew off very nicely down the lane, and won by 1.25 lengths as the favorite. She's in for the $40,000 tag today, but this is a field she can handle. Like I said, she was in against allowance caliber runners last time out. So Baco Sweets has tactical speed where she's going to be forwardly placed in a race that probably doesn't draw a ton of speed. So I'm thinking Baco Sweets will get the right trip, sitting just off the likely pace setter Impecunious, who we'll talk about in just a little bit. I'm also using number 10 Snow Cloud on the ticket. Snow Cloud, first time out for Jonathan Wong, who claimed this mare from trainer James Cassidy. The last time this mare ran on the Tapeta, it was all the way back in April, and she ran a very good race against allowance caliber runners. She's finished 4th. She completed the Superfecta in a stakes race, so that tells you that Snow Cloud number 10 has some backlash. Jonathan Wong, 28%. First off the claim. And my third pick is number 8, Impecunious. She's going off at a price. She's 12-1 on the morning line. Wouldn't be surprised if she went off at about those odds. There's not a ton of speed in here. I'm thinking Impecunious is going to try to steal it on the lead. And if she can get brave on the front end and nobody goes out and pressures her, maybe Impecunious can get the job done at a price. So those are my top 3, but Baco Sweets, number 5, the one I like the most in the 4th leg of the Stronach 5 wager.
Well, thank you very much, Matt. And a pretty picture with the horses working out in Northern California right behind Matt's shoulder. And I happen to agree with them as far as the 5 Baco Sweets potentially getting first run on the pace setter in the 4th race on Friday afternoon out at Golden Gate Fields. Well, that's 4 down, 1 race to go, and wouldn't you know, it's the turf finale and the day's finale here at Gulfstream Park. We do wrap things up here in the Stronach 5 on Friday afternoon, heading back to Acacia Courtney and Acacia here at Gulfstream Park. It does appear that Soldier's Pride, despite being in a big field, is quite significantly the horse to beat for Ralph Nix and Tyler Gaffalione.
Definitely the horse to be in here, and I ended up using 3 horses because I wasn't entirely confident, and a big reason is that as you said, Jason, it's a big field. You have 11 horses in the body, a couple of main track onlys. The likely pace setter in my mind is going to be the 6 Stormy Arabella. That said, her last couple of races, especially the last one where yes, she was under pressure, they were kind of disappointing. I think that Soldier's Pride needs a little bit of a pace setup, or maybe just a little bit of a better break than what she had last time, and as we're going to look at that most recent race from September in a couple of moments, but she's been consistent. She had her tag sliced in half last time out, and as we look at that race from September 14th, she was the number 6 that day. She was off the pace. She had good energy mid-pack, so I think she has the ability to be a little bit more forwardly placed. Widest of all late, Una Luna, the number 3, who was the winner, just very confidently handled. The short comment for Soldier's Pride is that she was steadied. I think maybe she just might have jumped the tracks a little bit late, maybe got a little bit distracted late. She's now making her 3rd start off of that layoff and her 3rd start in the barn of Ralph Nix, keeping Tyler Gaffalione aboard. I think this is the right spot for her, and I like that she comes back pretty quickly after that September 14th race. That's a sign to me that she's still in good health and in good form. But again, I'm going to use a couple others just for some coverage, because we know the last race, especially on the turf at Gulfstream, this 10,000 non-winners of 2 lifetime, these races can be absolute wars on the turf. I'm using the 1 SS Illuminati because Kathleen O'Connell is always dangerous. This horse has been consistent. I think she's got to step up a little bit in here, the 7-year-old mare. But a horse that I'm really worried about is potentially upsetting the favorite is the number 8, Pagiti, for trainer Terry Pompey. Now, last time out, I thought it was an okay finish. Again, don't love that she was beaten as the favorite, but I think she can be forwardly placed. She gets Miguel Vasquez back aboard, which is going to be the key for me. I think he fits this horse perfectly. He does a great job of saving something for the stretch, so that's my hope, that she'll be a bit more forwardly placed. So using the 10, the 1, and the 8 to wrap things up, both at Gulfstream and in the Stronach 5.
No, and it's certainly a case, Acacia, where just about all the top riders here at Gulfstream Park are hanging out to ride the finale. Just looking at the 3 jocks on Acacia's 3 that she's using in the Stronach 5, you've got Edgar Zayas, Miguel Vasquez, and then Tyler Gaffalione, who rides Soldier's Pride, who might, for some people, putting in not that much money, might be a single or a potential standalone to end the day. How about a quick little recap? Because do keep in mind, this Stronach 5 sequence has some 52 entries scattered throughout. I mean, these are good-sized fields. These are the 1, 2, 3 selections, and I'm very excited as we bring in our all-star ticket. We have worked tirelessly looking at these races, trying to figure out who we're going to use. We don't have any singles, but we have taken between Michelle, Tim, Matt, and Acacia, their best of the best, and we have got a $1 wager total of 72 even for this inaugural week of the Stronach 5. So excited about the Friday racing. So that's our $72 all-star ticket. I'm in for 10%. Don't forget that. Now, as far as, again, just tying up things, we don't want you to forget an industry-low takeout of just 12%. I think that is a beautiful thing as we start things out on Friday, September 28th. Also want to remind people, leg number 1 is at Laurel Park. To bet the Stronach 5, you ask for Laurel Park, race number 9, the Stronach 5, and off and running you will be. We've also got, well, some free quick picks available. $100 worth of free quick picks. Simple. Come out on track. You've got opening day at Santa Anita, Golden Gate Fields, Laurel, and Gulfstream Park. The first 100 people to buy a program on track will be given a $1 quick pick. How can you go wrong with that? Just a lot of fun. Action, action, action. So happy to have joined you here on this first ever Stronach 5 preview show. And from all of us here at the Stronach Group and especially Gulfstream Park, best of luck in the Stronach 5, and we'll see you next week.